Greetings, YouTube family. How are you all doing? Hope you guys are doing fine. Happy New Year once more. So, in this video, I'll be showing you how to draft a basic bodice pattern. A basic bodice block is a great starting point for all body patterns involving the top part of your body. So, from a basic bodice pattern, you can be able to transform any top design, and when coupled with a basic sleeve pattern, you can produce designs for the upper part of the body like a blazer, a t-shirt, female blouses, jackets, and coats. I wish to really thank all of my subscribers for all those who have supported my channel so far by subscribing. Thank you all very much. And for the viewers who don't want to subscribe, please, I pray you do so. Put a smile on someone's face by subscribing. Love you all. Love you guys so much. Oniva! I'll be using the following tools for this project: a measuring tape, a triangle, a 60 centimeters ruler, a 30 centimeters ruler, a scissors, not forgetting the pattern paper and markers. I'll just make sure I have a straight line to work with by using this triangle to give me that straight horizontal line, which will also serve as my shoulder line. The next thing to do is to create a rectangle of length being equal to the length of the waist and width equal to the bust circumference divided by 4. So the length of the rectangle will be the length from the shoulder to the waistline, while the width will be the bust circumference divided by 4. The bust circumference I'm working with is 96, and 96 divided by 4 is 24. So I'm placing that value, that's a quarter of the bust measurement. So I'll go ahead and place it along the width of the rectangle like this. The length of the waistline from the shoulder is 46 centimeters. So I'll go ahead and place the value. To know the length of your waist measurement, just place your tape from your shoulder to your navel. After placing the length of the waist, I'll go ahead and connect the points to create the rectangle. After creating the rectangle, I'll go ahead and place the bust point from the shoulder to the bust, and the value of the bust point from the shoulder to the bust point is 25 centimeters. It's good to place that value at various points like this so that your results will be accurate. I'll now use a ruler to connect all of the points. Now I'll go ahead and place the basic neck measurement. For the front neck, the basic neck measurement is 8 centimeters width by 9 centimeters depth. After marking the points, I'll connect them. I'll also go ahead and place the back neck measurements, because for me, I draft the front and the back pattern on the same pattern paper. So, except for very complex styles that will need to transfer either the front onto another pattern piece or the back onto another pattern piece. So I'm drawing a curve, the neck curve. If you can't do it with your free hand, guys, you can always use a French curve. Next is to create the shoulder slant, because our shoulders are not that flat or straight, they are somehow slanted. And to do that, I'll come to this shoulder line at the left angle, and I'll go down by 4 centimeters, and then I'll mark that point. When I'm done doing that, I'll also place the armhole length and the basic armhole length for a matured person is 18 centimeters. Now, I'll connect a diagonal line from the neck to the 4 centimeters shoulder slant, and that's where I'll be placing the shoulder measurement. Now, to create the armhole curve, I will go up by 8 centimeters from the bust point line, and then at that point I'll place the front chest measurement. To have your front chest measurement, place your tape from one armhole to the other and divide that by 2 because we are working just with one side of the chest. The front chest measurement I'm working with is 34, and 34 divided by 2 is 17, so I'll mark that point there. Now I'll place the basic shoulder measurements, which is 12 centimeters. From the armhole length, I'll gradually draw a curve through the chest points right up to the shoulder measurement. If you can't do this with your free hand, guys, feel free to use a French curve. I'll now measure the bust span and place the value from the center front. It is also called the nipple to nipple measurement. The bust span I'm working with is 18 centimeters, and divided by 2, it gives 9 centimeters. So I'll place the value between the bust line and the waistline. Now I'll connect these 2 points with a ruler to form the dart line. From the dart line at the bust point, I'll go down by 3 centimeters. I'll go down to the waistline and I'll deduct 1.5 centimeters on both sides of the dart line. After doing that, I'll now connect the points to create the dart. I'll now determine the hip line, which basically is about 20 to 21 centimeters from the waistline, and I'll draw a horizontal line at that point. I'll then place the hip circumference divided by 4, which is 28, on the hip line, and I'll connect that point back to the waistline. The next thing to do is to extend the dart line down to the hip line. When I'm done doing that, I'll measure 6 centimeters along the dart line upwards from the hip line. Now I'll connect the dart points at the waist to the 6 centimeters point I just created from the hip line. Thanks for following all along to this point, guys. Hope you learned something new. We have come to the end of the drafting, so I'll go ahead and cut the basic bodice pattern out. Since the back and front pattern are all found on one piece, what I usually do is that I'll first of all place and cut the back pattern, and after that I'll cut out the front neck, and then I'll place and cut the front pattern. Subscribe, and subscribe. Thanks.